Hey guys, ever since we ate at Fogo de Chao a couple weeks ago, there's one specific meat that I have not been able to keep my mind off of. And you know what? I'm gonna make it today. Let's go get it.
So I jumped in the car and headed to Costco to grab some picanha. Now they don't actually label it picanha, but it's there. You just have to look for beef loin top sirloin cap. That's the cut you want. What you'll find is this whole piece, sometimes even two still attached. It's got that classic triangular shape with that thick fat cap on top, and that's where the flavor comes from. From here, you can break it down into steaks or go traditional churrasco style with skewers. Either way, you're going to get one of the most flavorful cuts out there.
All right, so as I said, this is the top sirloin cap, or also known as the picanha, and I'm going to be serving this for 12 people tonight. And that's crazy because I was able to get a very nice cut of meat for $87. That is $8.99 or $10 a pound. So we're talking at 8.7 pounds. And I'm really excited that we're able to feed everyone, because usually we're either doing a leaner cut of meat, which is going to be cheaper, or we are doing a splurging event. But tonight we were all just wanting some steak, and I mentioned picanha because Fogo. And so I said, hey guys, are y'all okay with me cooking picanha and giving it a try? So they're trusting in me, and we'll see how it goes. So we're going to get our carving knife because what we're going to be doing today is we are actually going to be cutting with the grain rather than against the grain. When we eat steaks, we typically, hey baby, I love that you got a star. I'm so proud of you. So unlike regular steaks, we're going to be cutting with the grain because we are wanting that final cut to be against the grain to where it's a more tender tear apart look. And so we have the fat cap on the bottom here, and we're going to leave that because that's where that flavor is going to be. For any of you carnivores, we love our fat cap, and we are not going to be taking that away. All right, so I have the meat prepped and ready to go on the board. So I'm going to grab my carving knife, since I am actually cutting with the grain, like I said. And you can see the direction of the grain because you can see that they're all going linear right here. And so I'm going to cut my steaks, and I cut them about 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick. And I do it like I do all my other steaks. So we have our small group coming over tonight, and there is a bunch of families. There's 3 to 5 or 6 families that we feed each week. And so there are times that we do something special. Everyone chips in and we get a little bit more of a nicer dish. And so today we're going to be having nice picanha. You can see those fibers going this way. You can see them going linear. So when we cut, we're actually gonna be cutting against those grains to where you get a nice tender bite of meat. All right, so this first portion of the picanha, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 large size steaks, and then 2 smaller size steaks. So this will definitely be steak for the kids and maybe some food for Tilly if she's good. You know what? You want a piece of fat? Come here. Here's a piece of gristle too. Talk to us. Talk to us. You just want some food. And so the second piece, they're actually running linear this way. And so we're going to cut this one up. It's really stressful with someone watching you. Again, 1.5 to 2 inches thick, just because if you go much bigger than that, you're cooking a roast, and we definitely don't want to be doing that. And we can see again on this one that the playroom's clean. I'm proud of you. That playroom has been a disaster, so it needs to be cleaned. So we are cutting these 1.5 to 2 inches thick. And so you do have less uniform steaks like you would with like a ribeye or an entire strip loin or rib roast and a strip loin. But that's totally fine. If you're able to watch it and keep an eye on it, because when I cook these, I typically go hot and fast. But what I'm actually going to do on this one is I'm going to put it on the hot burners for a couple minutes to get my good crisscross sears, and then I'm going to move them over to the off side and let them finish cooking to where they finish off, but just simplified on the grill rather than coming in or using the oven that I would sometimes use as a substitute. So on that second one, I was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4 good sized steaks and then 2 smaller ones. And so all in all, I was able to roughly get 11 decent sized steaks and then 3 smaller ones, but we could say that this one's a smaller one. So we have a good number of steaks for our group tonight. I'm going to keep this simple and I'm going to salt these up. Okay, after looking at who's all able to come tonight, I actually took a couple away to put in some vacuum sealer bags and to store away. And so I am going to clean off my hands so I can touch this salt shaker. I know it's cross-contamination. Here, I'll do it the right way and take off the glove. So I'm just doing simple coarse sea salt. This is the simplest seasoning, but that's all that this meat needs because it's so yummy and flavorful. This is off-brand sea salt, honestly, but I would typically use my Himalayan sea salt, but with this one, I want that coarse sea salt, and so I'm grabbing this one. And you can be very generous with it. I know it looks like, oh my word, Jordan, you're putting so much salt, but I'll show it to you in a second. It's really not all that much salt when you look at it for how thick these steaks are. So I'm gonna turn them over, get them down on the other side. All right, I'm gonna season the other side. Did I flip this one? Forgot one. Again, you might be like, oh my word, Jordan, why don't you just eat a little bit of steak with your salt? But I promise you it's not really all that much. And actually, I'm going to cover the fat cap too. And I'm not even sorry about it. Because that's where all that flavor is, and there's nothing better than salty flavor. Some would say that this cut is actually better than ribeye. I feel indifferent. I think ribeye is the king of steaks, even if it's choice ribeye or even round of eye from the chuck roast. I still think that that is so much better. But when I am wanting a fat cap rather than being rendered all throughout it, I certainly prefer picanha even more than the New York strip entirely. And so we're gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna let these rest for a little bit, soak up that salt, dry out that edge. I'm gonna get the grill preheated to where it has a nice to where it's nice and high and hot and ready to sear those steaks, to where I can then move them over to the side that's not on and let them roast for a little bit. So we'll see you at the grill.
So I got the grill fired up and fully preheated for a hard sear. And just look at these steaks before they even hit the grates. Thick cut, that fat cap, this is exactly what you want. I start with all the burners on high and give each side about 3 minutes total, flipping every 90 seconds to build an even crust and get that clean crosshatch sear. Once we've got that color, I shut off half the burners and move the steaks over to the indirect heat side to finish cooking through. From here, it's another 4 to 6 minutes, bringing that total cook time to around 10 to 12 minutes until they hit about 120 to 125 degrees internal. That's the perfect medium rare to medium range. And this part matters. Don't skip it. Let them rest for at least half the cook time. That's what keeps all those juices in and gives you that tender steak house quality bite. It's a simple process, but when you do it right, this cut absolutely delivers.
All right, so the steaks have had some time to rest, Everyone's getting hungry, and Landon won't stop staring at me. It's making me uncomfortable. So we're going to slice these. Ooh, these are perfect medium rare. These are actually medium. So are you okay with medium?
Yeah.
All right. So the test is this better than ribeye?
Let's find out. Yeah, the tenders.
I struggle with the fact that I'm losing my fat all throughout the meat, and it's just a strip of fat. But that's super tender. Mm-hmm. I don't get any. Landon, come here. Is this too rare for you?
Not at all.
Come over here.
Not at
All
all.
right, your turn. Come on.
This side.
Okay.
The texture's kind of a cross
Wonderful.
between ribeye and
Ribeye or picanha or New York strip?
Picanha.
Picanha.
Oh, yeah.
Really? It's funny that I'm the one that's like, nah.
That's very good.
Rachel?
Very good.
You've had an entire episode about you. Why are you being weird about this?
That's phenomenal.
Now we're starting to get in a little bit of a blue area, but
All right, that's good.
which one do you like more? Picanha, ribeye, or New York strip?
This one.
Picanha.
Picanha.
That one.
Bethany, I'll let you come test it. Come on. Yeah, come stand by here so I can hear you. All right, so the test is picanha, and this is a top sirloin cap, Miss Butcher over here. Butcher. And then picanha, New York strip, or ribeye. Which one do you like more? This is more of a medium well, so there's a medium or even a little bit of a blue.
Ribeye.
Thank you. Someone agrees with me. Like this is fantastic. I really enjoy it. But there's just something that's more tender about a ribeye. But I think it's from eating meat for so many years that just is what it is.
Yeah, I would say ribeye.
Hannah?
She's about to go against the grain too and be like, for real.
I love the ribeye. It's a big bite. It's a tie.
It's a tie, really. So with ribeye? Interesting. I need to give another try. Okay.
How about we all just eat it?
That bite was actually
Sorry.
fantastic. Y'all just want to stare?
I'm so hungry.
We'll be done.
That's good. So we're not at Fogo, but we did cook it the right way where we cut it with the grain to where when our final cut for the steak is against the grain to where we can get those tender pulled apart pieces, because what the goal is that it just pulls apart. So when you're chewing it, you're not just chewing on a glob of meat. Tilly is dying for some food. And so this is just a fantastic meal that we're not spending ribeye or New York strip prices, because yesterday I think it was 15 or 16 for ribeye and then 12 for New York strip. And I was able to get this for $9.99 a pound. And so if you're looking for something to get, choose picanha, get that top sirloin cap and enjoy it. It is an easy thing that you can cook once you get the grains figured out and how to cook it, how to sear it, and then get it cut up. So if you like this, like it and share it with someone who's trying to cook a nicer meal but not wanting to spend a ton of money. And also, if you want to see what's happening next with Goforth&Carnivore, hit that subscribe button, because we have a lot of life to go and a lot of meat to eat. And so until next time, guys, Goforth&Carnivore.
Like and subscribe, y'all.
Like and subscribe.